Okay, everybody, so welcome back. This is Ian from TheraList, Tiny Lists, Big Ideas for Therapists and Mental Health Professionals. All right, so today's question and checklist is for those of you looking to create a newsletter for your therapy practice. A newsletter obviously can be one of the most effective and important brand building tools that you can implement or incorporate into your practice, but it's also a area that lots of folks get wrapped around the axle of procrastination and trying to make the perfect decision with respect to, a whole bunch of variables actually, but most notably the software or the tool or the tech that you want to pick. So today's checklist, we're going to cover this very, very quickly. Number one, there is no perfect platform, and you really don't want to make perfection the enemy or the enemy of progress. You can literally spend weeks, and I've certainly done this in many, versions of my own business and our publishing platform, finding the right or perfect newsletter publishing tool or tech or software or service. And these are weeks or months that you'll regret later not having actually started earlier, right? So, it's really easy to forget that there is no perfect platform. There is no perfect newsletter tool or software. And if you try to find one, you're just going to end up spending way too long looking for something that doesn't exist. There are plenty of really good platforms. Our favorite and the one that we use in our Mindful Marketplace community and in our TheraList community is Flowdesk. It's inexpensive. It has really good brand and email design tools that are easy to use. They're very kind of novice friendly for those of us who aren't professional designers but want our newsletter branding to appear, as aesthetically appealing as possible. They're also small enough that it's really easy to get personalized support and customer service when you need it. MailChimp is another very popular platform as well. It could be a great choice if you have let's say a multi-person practice and a little bit of a bigger budget. Certainly more expensive, and they have a little bit less sort of personalized attention or support that they'll offer those of us who may need it. Another good option is something like Substack, which is great for more kind of, in public publishing rather than for like a, kind of private practice newsletters. Let's say it's almost like a YouTube or a Medium, which is another popular magazine style, community publishing tool. I don't recommend Substack as often for those of us who want to send newsletters out on a weekly or bi-weekly basis for our practice, but it's great for kind of more if you're interested in building a larger community publishing platform and audience. They have some great discovery tools that can help you cultivate an audience a bit quicker than you may do on your own with some of these other tools. And another option in that respect is Ghost. And Ghost is actually a great platform for turning your blog into a brand and ultimately your brand into a business via a newsletter. So you can quickly and easily turn your newsletter into a premium paid publication with Ghost. Ghost is awesome. And it's, if you're not familiar with the software, it's actually really beginner friendly, really easy to use, really beautiful. And you can reach out to us if you're interested in some more tips on using Ghost. All right, the second question that you really want to ask yourself when doing something like, creating a newsletter, this is going to sound a little goofy to some of you, but you want to ask questions like, who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? What do they need? And how do their lives change when you do what you do best for them? And you're asking these actually of your newsletter, right? So not yourself per se, although these are good questions to ask yourself as well. But these are actually questions you want to aim at the newsletter itself. So you want to actually know, what it is that this newsletter is designed to accomplish. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? What do they need? And then ultimately, how do their lives change by dint of having this newsletter in their inbox on a regular basis? So, you want to think of your newsletter as an instrument of education, inspiration, and maybe even transformation for your quintessential clients or ideal audience. The enemy of doing this well is very general content. You want to make this as niche and specific as you can. It is a cliche. I understand the whole niche kind of, or niche or niche, however you want to pronounce it, sort of advice that's sort of everywhere in the marketing for mental health professional space, but it's very true. You want to actually own a specific kind of topic or audience, and a newsletter is a great way of really drilling down on that. All right, and finally, a really important question is, how often do you want to send, right? It's easy to be very ambitious, overly ambitious even, and to think to yourself that you're going to send your newsletter out, 3 times a week or once a week or once a day. And all of those things can be perfectly, useful and helpful and smart and strategic, but you don't want to deviate from the schedule that you start, right? So, the idea is, if you're going to publish every day, and you're going to make a proclamation, or, you're going to announce that to your list, you want to actually follow through on that. If you're going to do it once a week or once every 2 weeks, you want to actually make sure that you can follow through. Like, consistency in this case, is superior of a strategy than frequency. And you just want to be reputable with the, follow through that you actually, accomplish. So, if you're going to decide in the beginning, I would recommend deciding on, a lower bar than a higher bar. So you want to set the bar low. So maybe once a month, once every 2 weeks, again, once a week, predicated around your schedule. I have certainly seen many folks in my own entrepreneurial orbit, as well as myself, make very ambitious goals and then sort of not follow through with that. So, it's easy to lose all of your momentum and lose all of your enthusiasm for a project if you follow, if you start to let yourself down and you don't follow through, and then it's easy to say, nah, I'm just going to let the whole thing go. So don't do that. Err on the side of less is more, rather than, thinking that you're going to write every day, if that's something that in the past historically hasn't happened. Okie doke. So, set that up in the beginning, and then you can always modify up if you're getting subscribers and interest and feedback and interaction that is enthusiastic and exciting for you. You can always make a more ambitious publishing schedule, at a later date. All right. So that's today's 3 bullet points. There's a checklist that's available for those of you who want to actually read this visually online, and you can actually interact with the checklist as well, and check out some of the recommendations that I covered in step 1. Thanks so much for listening. Again, we are Theralist, and we create tiny lists of big ideas for mental health professionals, therapists, and folks working in the community wellness space. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. Thank you as always for listening, and have a wonderful day.